Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Ksoo, or Ksoo 23. Now, Ksoo is a rapper who comes from Jacksonville, Florida, that Duval County. And he's been in a lot of news lately, man. Over the past year, he's been in headline after headline after headline, and it all has to do with these two murder cases that he's being accused of. Now, Ksoo has been fighting back and forth in court. They've been trying to get him bond like it's nobody's business. But man, every time they've tried to move forward, they've been moved 2 steps back, to be real. Like, they even had his lawyer on social media lobbying on Ksoo's behalf, trying to prove his innocence. Like, I got several videos about this where they said that the original suspect who was accused of killing one of the other guys who was a rapper by, I think, the name of Lil Buck, I know his real name is Charles McCormick. They even said the description of the person who allegedly shot that person, you know what I'm saying, at a shopping center was not Ksoo, and that Ksoo was too big to be the guy. They even came up with their own guide and handbook to show that Ksoo wasn't guilty, and that still didn't get him bond. That still hasn't moved anything forward for him. And like I said before, he's been moving back, and this time in a big way. Now it looks like Ksoo's charges have been upgraded from 2nd-degree murder on both murder charges to 1st-degree murder, and that carries a heavy penalty. Now, before we get to the specifics of what this entails and go over this news story, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, man, let's talk about Ksoo and these 2 murder cases that he's fighting and this big hit that his legal team just took. Okay, so the local news there in Jacksonville, I think it's like the 4 Jacks or something. It's like some independent news agency, right? They put out this story right here, and it says in the headline, Jacksonville Rapper Ksoo among 5 indicted for 1st-degree murder in Duval cases. Now, this is a big deal. I don't know how big you guys understand that is, but we'll get to it in a minute. Now, the story starts off by saying this. In Jacksonville, Florida, Hakeem Robinson, a Jacksonville rapper who's known as Ksoo, has been indicted on a charge of 1st-degree murder. According to the news released Thursday from the Office of the State Attorney, 4th Judicial Circuit of Florida, that's a lot to say, but that's the office that put this out, right? Robinson was indicted on 2 counts of 1st-degree murder in 2 different cases. He's charged in the shooting deaths of 16-year-old Adrian Gaynor in 2019. Now, Adrian Gaynor, I believe, is the young man who goes by the name Bibby. Now, Bibby's name has been in songs all over the Jacksonville rap scene, like including Ksoo has had his name in songs, and including Young and Ace has had Bibby's name in songs, and Who I Smoke, Bibby's name was in the hook. It was all throughout the song, right? And I believe that's Adrian Garner, but let me know if I'm wrong, man. And I think the last name was actually pronounced Gaynor. Now, the next person, it says, and 23-year-old rapper Charles McCormick Jr., who was, shot in 2020. Now, they're saying that Charles McCormick, and I believe his name was Lil Buck, was his name as a rapper. Let me know in the comments if that's not correct, but I remember doing videos about that whole situation and how other people were allegedly involved in the setup and all that, man. Now, also indicted in McCormick's murder were Robinson's brother, Abdul Robinson Jr., and Leroy Whitaker. Now, Ksoo's brother was on the run for a while. There were wanted posters looking for him. There were a lot of things looking for Ksoo's brother, man. And somehow his dad got wrapped up in this case as well. Remember, there was some footage of who is supposed to be allegedly Ksoo and his father jumping over fences and stuff like this. I mean, I've done a story about that whole situation if you want to hear a long and in detailed story about that whole Charles McCormick shooting. And it took place at like a shopping center, and the getaway was just as crazy as the shooting. I'll say that much. But man, these people obviously were wrapped up in that case allegedly as well, right? Now, a lot of people when the charges came down and when the description came out from the witnesses on the scene of who the person was that carried out the shooting, a lot of people already said that it couldn't have been Ksoo because of the dimensions of the person that was mentioned. That's where a lot of people turned to his brother, and I think he goes by the rap name Crazy K, right? Now, the story continues by saying this. It says, Robinson is known for his controversial music videos that feature lyrics about murders. His attorneys have said the lyrics do not prove he is guilty. Now, there was a big debate early in this case about if his lyrics were going to be allowed in the case. And I believe they came to the decision that they would. And they even named off the songs and the features. Like, I think it was a song featuring King Von, because he was like really cool with King Von and them, man. Like, they were in mad videos together, IG Lives, all that, right? And you could see like a list of the songs that had features and stuff like that, along with the list of witnesses and everything, right? Now, the story also says this. Recently, a judge denied a request by defense attorneys representing Robinson who wanted to state prosecutors removed from the case. So it looks like they wanted the state's prosecutor removed from the case, and even that got denied. I'm telling you, they've been taking nothing but L's throughout this process. Now, the indictments were among 5 total that were handed down by a grand jury on Thursday. 2 of the indictments involved 2 unrelated cases. And those 2 people, you know, they had nothing to do with the situation involved with Ksoo. So it looks like 3 of those people, I guess 2 of those people, including Ksoo, got their charges bumped up to first-degree murder. So what does this mean in the state of Florida? Now, the very first website I saw was from a legal team, or I should say a law firm, and they kind of describe what the difference is. And there's a huge difference. So for first-degree murder in Florida, under the Florida Statute 72-0.041A or something like that, the crime of first-degree murder is committed when a person commits either premeditated murder or felony murder. Now, premeditated murder under the Florida statute, premeditated murder is committed when a person kills another human being pursuant to a pre-planned act or scheme. So setting somebody up or, you know, putting a play in action in order to shoot somebody and kill them. You know, that's premeditated murder. You know what I'm saying? Any type of setup, backdoor, things like that, right? Now, felony murder under the Florida statute, there is a lot of different things. So felony murder is committed when a person kills another human being in the commission of another felony. So it could be a lot of things. And they have a long list of things here, man. So like anything, man, like all sorts of robbery, anything. So we'll leave it at that, right? So it can be a combination of things with the murder that was carried out, right? Now, this is the important part. The crime of first-degree murder is a capital offense in Florida and only has 2 possible sentences: death or life without the possibility of parole. And that is a bleak ending to anybody's story, man. Be for real, man. Learn from that right there, man. Let me repeat. There's only 2 outcomes in capital murder offenses. You either get the death penalty if you're found guilty or life without the possibility of parole, man, which is crazy. So I don't know what Ksoo's team is going to be doing or planning in this situation, especially since they've already taken so many losses. But, man, I'll be staying tuned to see how they're going to play this out. I mean, I wouldn't, if they take a deal, I would understand, you know what I mean? But what do you guys think about Ksoo's charges getting upgraded to first-degree murder? And, you know, we already talked about with the penalty or if you lose the case, what comes from that. And he's got 2 cases, 2 separate murder cases he's got to fight. So think about that as well. What do y'all think about that? And do you think that they just might be coming on strong with these charges and there's still a possibility that he might beat them in the end? Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.